Welcome back. I am Chris Sununu, in for Chris Cuomo. Now, both Chris and I are huge fans of podcast host and comedian Adam Carolla, along with the rest of America, if I may say. He has a comedic take on the political state of play in this country, something that we need very desperately. And unlike anybody else, it's because of hosts like Carolla that politicians and newsmakers, they're turning to them. They're turning away from that mainstream media to get their message out. So, Adam Carolla joins me now. Adam, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So look, let's start. I want to start with something just on the tariff issue. Let's jump into an issue before we get to kind of podcasts and where it's all going. And you know, Democrats are running around with their hair on fire saying it's the end of the economy as we know it. Republicans are saying let's kind of stay the course. What are the libertarians saying, right? The capital and lowercase l libertarians saying is there a need to panic here, or are folks going to be patient over the next 90 days to see if Trump can pull this one out of his hat?
I hope you said hat, but yeah, I think he will. I trust him. I know people just sort of react and do the opposite. And I sent a tweet out a couple of days ago that the same people who were experts on ivermectin are now experts on tariffs. Right. It's the same group. Somehow, something that no one talked about, knew, or discussed. You notice how during COVID, everyone on CNN became an ivermectin and a hydroxychloroquine expert immediately overnight, like words they couldn't pronounce 10 minutes earlier. So it's the same crew who is doing what they do. So I think experience says sit back, and I think it'll let it play out.
Be optimistic, let it play out. Now, to your point, whether you're talking about vaccines and ivermectin or you're talking about tariffs, there's so much polarization, right? And I would say that the more politics that gets played into those arguments, the more people walk away from mainstream media. You, really, one of the godfathers, if I may, of long-form interviews. You and Stern were doing it back before podcasts were even cool. What's the allure there? Is it a long-form discussion? Is it the fact that politicians and folks can just have a better connection with people? Why is it that these are taking off so well?
Yeah, I think when the process of a politician is sort of the process of getting to know the person. And if the person's has a lot of substance and good ideas, then this is not their enemy. Long form is great if you've got a bunch of good ideas and you can articulate it and you have a lot of different subjects you'd like to speak on, then it's good. If you're sort of shallow and dim-witted and speak in sound bites, then it's not going to be a good friend of yours. So, I don't think Joe Biden would be able to deal with the rigors of a long format and open dialogue kind of thing you'd have in a podcast. Now, Trump would be much more suited to that format. And there's other people on the left, none come to mind, but they would be fine in that long form format as well.
One of the classic cases was the vice president at the time running for the president when Kamala, she kind of skipped the Rogan interview, right? And some people say that did her in. I think she was done in a lot of other ways. Do you feel like the politicians of this world are going to be much more sensitive to not avoiding that type of opportunity when it comes up?
Yeah, I think, well, you have to look at it two ways. You skip a popular podcast, so you skip an opportunity to get your message across, but to also a lot of Americans, it's like you not wanting to take a polygraph test. So you not taking a lie detector test means you didn't do it, but also means why didn't you do it? What are you hiding? What do we need to know about? So it's kind of lose-lose. You don't get your message across and you send another message, which is, I am scared to sit down with an intelligent person who's going to ask real questions that I'm going to have to answer in an unedited format. So, yeah, I think she hurt her cause, but on the other hand, I think it was the dying vestiges of the old format, which was Joe Biden got elected by hiding in a basement, essentially. He used COVID as an excuse. They hid him out, and they won. And they're able to do it as long as they have 60 Minutes and the LA Times and the New York Times and all the different outlets on their side, then it's possible to run a campaign without actually running.
That's right.
Which is what Biden did initially. And I think they thought it would work for part two, but after the debate, the wheels came off the wagon.
Now, Adam, I only got you for about 30 more seconds here. Real quick, you've been incredible on the front lines of the fires out in California. I think America, we've kind of lost our sight of that a little bit. Is there progress? Is there something happening out there? Is there hope that there could actually be progress in terms of rebuilding, reestablishing? Are things moving?
Yeah, I've been doing a vlog. I got displaced out of Malibu 3 months ago, but I've been going back every week and talking to the Army Corps of Engineers, talking to civilian contractors, going over the devastation, going over the cleanup. And yeah, they're making progress. The first part they're doing is they're having to clean out the place, which is going to be the first half of it before they can start rebuilding. But you can look at the Adam Carolla Malibu vlog and get all your information. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I tell you, you see the sights there, and you can only imagine what can be unburdened by what has been. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Cannot thank you enough. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.